It's Julia at the Mother Ranch. A long time ago, I had somebody tell me, a friend of mine, tell me that they didn't trust their inner voice because it was always in a panic. And I ended up telling her this story because there is a difference between your anxiety and your inner voice. So I was 29 years old. It was 1999. And I was a whitewater kayaker back then. And I was standing on the bank of the Lower Haw River at the put in. It had been pouring rain. It had been a really fabulous winter and spring. It had been pouring rain. And so me and a bunch of friends and my then boyfriend, now husband, Brad, all went to the Lower Haw to paddle this section that was always fun. It was always a kind of a 2-3 section. So the whitewater has um, a rating system. And so class 1 is kind of riffles, not too much. And class 6 is pretty death defying. And so this was a 2-3. It was mostly 2 with a 3 at the end. And so we're standing there looking at it. We realize it's more of a 3-4 at this rate with the flood stage that it was in. And a flooded river it's like a giant chocolate milkshake. The water is actually thick. And it feels thick when you're in it. It just feels like this huge undulating beast and you're just riding on it. It's really, really strange. So it's very heavy water, and in a flood there's often stuff in the river, like trees, like full trees, have come down and they're coming down the river. Not particularly safe. So I'm standing there looking at this water and thinking, ooh, the squirrels are in my brain are like, swinging from the branches and they're shrieking, don't do it. Don't do it. Oh my God, it's the end of the world. And so this isn't okay. But, I'd been kayaking for a few years at that point, and I had kind of learned you just kind of don't listen to them. You would never get on the water if you listen to the flying squirrels in your head. So I'm trying to just, get rid of them, not pay attention to them. And we're all kind of standing around looking, just kind of watching the water. So I should have listened to the squirrels, but anyway. So we're getting ready to get on the water, but we're running shuttle first, and that just means all your dry clothes need to be at the takeout where you're going to take your boats out, and enough cars that you can get everybody in their boats back. And while my squirrels are screaming, I hear this very quiet voice, and it said, "You need to run shuttle." And I remember thinking, it was so clear and neutral that I remember kind of stopping for a second and thinking, wow, that was weird. And in the kayaking world, people who, quote, run shuttle are called, if they aren't paddling, they're just called shuttle bunnies. It's often a girlfriend of some guy and who kind of wants to hang out and see what's going on. But so people will call them shuttle bunnies. And I'm just like, I'm a kayaker. I'm not a shuttle bunny. I'm not running shuttle. What the hell? So I didn't. And, we all get all geared up in our helmets and our PFDs, and we, get into the water, slide into the water. And immediately there we are, we're riding the dragon's tail. It's slow, weird, just strange feeling. You put in our kayaks, they're kind of like race cars. They're super responsive. They spin really easy. And, you put your paddle in the water and your boat moves quickly. But in a flooded river, everything just it's not slow. You're moving very quickly, but the feel of the water is very heavy and slow. So we start down the first rapid, and I realize, man, I should have listened. I should have listened to that little voice. And very quickly I realized I'm not staying on this water. So I tell Brad I'm getting off, and he's a good guy. He comes with me. So we finally able to get out of the water. It's kind of hard to find an eddy. Everything is so washed out that you can't find a place behind a rock to stop because the water is pouring over that rock. So anyway, we finally get out and we're walking back, and it's, you've got what, 75 pounds of boat and gear and stuff on one shoulder, and we were walking out on, a wooded, very forested area where it was very steep, and a lot of mud, and here in the south it's a lot of clay, very slippery. We finally get out and we're waiting, and we have to now wait for the entire group to go down the river, which is usually several hours, if it's playtime. I don't remember how long it took us, back then, but being such at flood, it was probably faster than the normal several hours that we would normally take when we were playing. But it's still, we had to wait. And so we're standing there and kind of talking about it, and I'm looking out at the water and just kind of remembering that voice, that super neutral, really calm, you need to run shuttle, as opposed to the screaming monkeys, flying around in the treetops in my brain. And it was really the first time I recognized, there's a difference. I've had for many years, just that, you sometimes you just have a knowing, an inner knowing. You just know something isn't right, or it is right, maybe. But that was the first time I remember actually hearing an actual voice, and the difference between the anxiety voice and my inner voice. It was pretty cool.